Hello, all you beautiful treasures out there. Once again, it is time for mystery toys. These I'm kind of excited for. The MGA's Miniverse Make It Mini Lifestyle. And these are miniatures, but they're like a little craft project. But this particular series, because they have a bunch of food-themed ones, which I don't care about. I tell myself I don't care about. Who knows? I'll probably end up with some. But this is series 1 of the Lifestyles, which is an expansion into decor, mini decor. Like there's tiny terrariums and aquariums. Plants, aquariums, and candles. The candles are pretty cute. I'm actually really hoping for an aquarium, but we'll see what we get going on here. That aquarium right there with the clownfish. It's cute. And we're just gonna go ahead and, okay, I found looks so real, and then points to the zip strip. The tear strip. Yep, looks so real, but doesn't function. Y'all set yourselves up for that one, MGA. Alright, that was not my fault. And then, that's still not enough. Okay. And then there's still another layer. Tear strip. Terror strip. Okay. Nope. Whatever. This is insulting. This is insulting. Finally done. Bye. Goodbye. So we've got this faux wood, not quite a ball. Woo! Oh, whoa. Okay. Losing pieces already. Yeehaw. There's a bunch of stuff in here. Let's see. Ooh, Fresh H2O, Aquasun Co. Does that, I believe this is a bottle of UV resin. Because these actually are little tweezers, UV resin based projects, which gives me some conflicted feelings. We've got some little tray that our project is gonna go on. Okay, that looks like it is not English. This is read me first. That's okay. Spanish and French, maybe? And English. And then checklist. We'll look at checklist later. There's like a little... Oh, that's because... Hold on. Does it come... Yeah. This can kind of be like a little shelf, it seems like. I could be wrong. Because it seems like it would go this way and then sits... No, it's too round to sit. Unless that's what it's meant to... I could read the instructions, but no, this clicks in. It is a shelf. Boom! It is a modern, sleek, cool shelf. I like it. I'm screaming. I want to apologize, but am I sorry? Is like a good question. Not sorry for sharing my joy and excitement with y'all. Shelf. And I figured that out. It's not very stable. Okay. So we're gonna look at the readme first. Yeah, this is indeed resin. Contents may vary. Cover the play area to prevent resin damage to surfaces. An adult must be present when playing with resin. Keep rubbing alcohol or wipes close by to clean up messes. And your hands, rubbing alcohol or wipes not included. I happen to just already have rubbing alcohol on a spray bottle. Yes, I've reused my Bath and Body Works antibacterial hand spray, and there's rubbing alcohol in here. I didn't plan that out. I was not necessarily going to gather things that I think I need. I was just going to experience the toy. I'll talk about it in a sec. I have some conflicting feelings, even though I'm personally really excited for this product. It is highly recommended to wear gloves and eye protection while using resin. Gloves and eye protection not included. It is recommended to set resin in daylight or UV light. Note the intensity of the sun may vary depending on your location and time of day. This says how to play with plants, how to play with resin, glow-in-the-dark candles, scented candles after you're done. Okay, so it doesn't tell you which one you got necessarily. It has instructions for all of them, which makes sense. They need to be able to just like plonk the same piece of paper into every ball regardless of what's in there. So I am going to read what they say about how to play with resin. Think of your resin as glue. Use it to make everything stay in place. Note, when using a base holder, make sure to expose resin to daylight or any UV light to set it. To make it easier to pour, try keeping the bottle upside down with the cap on in a cup or bowl for at least 1 minute. When poured, resin will take a few seconds to drip or spread. Don't overfill your candles or aquariums. Make sure you have enough room for your materials. If large bubbles appear when pouring, use the tip of the tweezers to pop them. Note, the more you stir the resin, the more bubbles that will appear. While resin is still wet, using tweezers, take time to carefully place all of your items before setting. Only check if resin has hardened with the tweezers provided, because if it is not hardened and you touch it with your skin, you are encountering toxins. UV resin is a toxic substance. And in fact, professionals who work with UV resin do so in well-ventilated areas and or with ventilators, PPE. You should, when working with any kind of resin, honestly, you should be wearing a ventilator and some protective eyewear, or a ventilator that has the full face mask. So it is actually odd to me to sell UV resin as a children's toy. I'm sure that there is it's not like it's for little kids, I'm sure. I didn't look at the suggested age range on the toy, if there was one. I'm not sure, because I'm an adult, so I just decided, yeah, whatever. But it is something to think about. Oh, there we go. Ages 8 and up. Not suitable for children under 8 years old. Adult supervision recommended. I think adult supervision should probably be required, but the assumption that the adult would actually know how to handle these substances correctly is a big one. It does have warnings here. Warning, candles are not real. Do not light with any source of fire. Because if they are UV resin, they are flammable, and if they do get caught on fire or get overheated, they're going to release more toxic fumes. Resin, like, once cured completely is safe, but uncured resin at any stage is actually not safe. It's just not. Avoid skin contact, wash hands thoroughly after use, avoid touching resin with fingers before the gel is completely dry, always use the supplied tweezers, avoid playing with resin with broken skin, Keep contents away from eyes. If irritation occurs, discontinue use. Use in a well-ventilated area. So they do at least say well-ventilated area. Although, like I said, most people who use this professionally don't play around, and they go ahead and they wear a ventilator. Pro tip: warm the bottle of resin in your hands for a minute for a minute or more to make it easily pourable. I can read. After you're done, clean all surfaces and equipment after use. Store the product in a safe place and keep away from young children after play. Set any excess resin in bottle. Leave bottle open and place in direct sunlight for at least 5 minutes to set. Do not pour in drain. Storage and display. It's just telling us the thing that I already figured out. Yay! So we are gonna go ahead and do this. My room is fairly well ventilated. Trying to decide if I am gonna put my gas mask on. I do have a ventilator because I sometimes work with resin. Let's see what we got first. You know, because it covers your mouth. But we'll go. So it looks like we got fish. And fresh versus salt. The debate continues. This is like, it's like as if you wrapped your glass bowl in newspaper, but the newspaper is just about fishies. It's just about fishies. I'm excited. I got the one I wanted for like one time. Fish Friends approved quality pebbles. Beginner's guide to raising your fish. Raising Lorem Ipsum Dolor Sit Emet. Oh, okay, so this is Fish of the Month. Meet Fin. Aqua Sunco, Lorem Ipsum. And it's, okay, so there's a lot of like gobbledygook, but there's also beta facts. A Despecting Eat said yeah, there's yeah, that's so funny because it's big enough to read, but they didn't want to write like a whole bunch of stuff, I guess, so it literally Lorem Ipsum. But here's the little bowl, and then what's in the blue package that says thank you, and is a little roughed up. This is our fish. This is our cute little fish. The lid came off, but Aqua Sunco Beta. We got, whoa, this thing is so tiny. Okay. Gosh, it's so cute. All right. Oh, the sunlight comes through that really nicely. Or all the light, but there's a lot of sunlight happening right now too. A little red and purple beta, very cute, on a little stand so he doesn't just like sit in the gravel, which in theory, if you pour enough resin around it, that stand might kind of disappear, but it comes in this cute, although not quite so functional, let's see. Not the best, but that's why the lid was off, but like the little cup that they sadly keep the betas in at the store, which is so sad, but the little cups, and then what we've got in the bag that says Home Sweet Home, we've got Aqua Sunco grass. Grass to go in our aquarium. And then, ooh, we've got this bluish, tealish, purplish gravel here. Pebbles. It's so cute. Oh, it feels really satisfying to squish. And then the tweezers to help with placement and all of that. And then our UV resin in this water jug. Okay, since we've looked at all our fish parts, we're gonna look at the instructions for the fish bowls. So, aquariums. Step 1, make it. Build your aquarium using the materials and step-by-step instruction card from your pack. Oh, that might be the other one. We'll look at that one too. Using the provided tweezers, dig an opening in the pebbles and place the base of the fish inside. Cover the base with pebbles. Set it, base. Carefully pour a little bit of resin over the base and pebbles first. Note, using the provided tweezers, poke at the pebbles to release any air bubbles trapped underneath. Place it under daylight or UV light with a tray to set the base. Set it, tank. Fill the rest of the aquarium carefully, start from the bottom and slowly pour resin around the plants and fish. Before setting, tap the fish tank a few times to release the trapped air bubbles. Then, set it under daylight or UV light with a tray for at least 5 minutes or until resin has hardened. Let the aquarium cool down before touching it. Then, we're gonna grab a dice. Is this the step-by-step instruction card? No, this is all of the step-by-step instruction cards, it seems like. You can cut them out and they can each be an individual little thingy. Or is it perforated? It's perforated. I don't really want to do that right now, so I'm just not. I think it's perforated. So this is. So this is the purple beta. This is just a photo of all the things and then a final piece there. I also want the clownfish aquarium. Ooh, coming soon is another beta. That looks like might be a pale pinky color. It's like a angelfish. There's a turtle. There's the one that's a cat-shaped bowl. Yeah, it's fun. Okay, that's fun. I think the candles look super fun too, to be honest. They come with these like cute little trays that mimic some of the like really popular styles of resin trays. But let's see. This quote-unquote step-by-step card doesn't make sense. Yeah. I'm not even going to try to describe what the directions are actually directing at, and instead, we're just going to do this thing. I am, because I do have gloves, I am going to put on some gloves, at the very least. We're also gonna need another camera angle. Hopefully I can manage a good one. I don't think I did in the last video. Alright, be right back. Alright, we are top-down perspective today, because that's what we get. So, I have some crinkly-ass gloves on. I couldn't find my non-crinkly gloves that I swear that I have. I just do not know where they are. But some glove is better than no glove. You do not want this stuff to touch your skin directly, definitely as little as possible. This is actually the tray that I use for UV resin and other resins anyway. I have this silicone mat that I leave on this tray. The resins, all of them, do not stick to the silicone. The silicone, like, that's why silicone molds are what you use for resin, because it just doesn't stick. So that's why I have all of that, and I have tried to make things as easy for myself as possible. But I'm going to go ahead and see about how much of this gravel stuff. Ooh, the gravel is sticky. And I wonder if you're meant to use all of it, if all of it looks weird or not. So I think maybe this is already mixed with some UV resin. Okay, that seems like a lot. Using the tweezers. This isn't really a top-down craft, but I'm just so used to filming a lot of my crafts top-down. But this is the setup I have, y'all. I went way out of my way to make this setup my setup. Okay. I'm just trying to squish this down in there, see how I want it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and, I guess, make a hole for my fish. Try to slide his little base in there. Or he looks like he's sitting lower in the gravel than I want him to. I don't know if I want to, because I think it might have suggested putting a base level of gravel and curing that, and then putting your fish in. I don't 100% see a reason for that. I am gonna put more gravel in and see how I feel. I feel like I'm not gonna use all of this. I really do, because it just seems like it's just taking up like way too much space in this tiny bowl. And actually, I suppose, I have gloves on. I could just manipulate this with my hand if I needed to. Or if I felt I wanted to. Yeah, that's like more sand than I think I want, actually. So I'm not gonna use all those pebbles. But I guess, like, better to have more than not quite enough. They say to make a hole for him first, but I think I'm just gonna press him in. I wish the base was taller. I want him to look more floating. So, you know what? I'm gonna do something radical and ignore the instructions. Yay, me! Okay. So what I want, actually, is I'm gonna take some of this out and see how I feel about that. Because I'm not loving this. Whew. I'm just gonna go for it. This is not necessarily what I recommend, and I certainly don't recommend this for children. I'm not entirely certain why this is a toy product and not a craft kit. I want this to be like a nice, even layer, which is not what's happening here, but definitely don't touch this with your hands. Wear gloves if you're gonna like pack this with your fingers the way I am. All right. Well, no, I don't. Scoop that out. Get out. Get out. You're banished. Yeah, this is like enough gravel for 2 of these. Why is it so much? I'm gonna have to go ahead and like cure the rest of this nonsense, just because it's better if you do. So I'm just gonna put it all out on the the silicone here, or as much of it as I can get out. Jeez Louise. This is not easy. I'm just gonna shape it into like a little pancake of rocks. Rock pancake. Okay. Yeah. And the whole thing just shifts as a piece instead of like me being able to just like tamp down on one side. So I'm trying to make sure. Okay, I've got at least one side of this that I like. Where did those instructions go? I found the unhelpful ones. They're like printed backwards. That doesn't make much sense. It's put in the rocks, then put in the stuff, and then put in the UV resin. I'm gonna have to do a test. 'Cause I feel like the rocks are already mixed with a little UV resin, but it's hard to say. So I'm gonna turn on, I have a UV light, I'm gonna turn it on for like 5 minutes, because what I want is actually to put my little fishy on top of my gravel. I don't want to push that base into the gravel, and through the power of UV resin, I can make that happen. And yes, I have a large UV right, because I do occasionally work with UV resin, and that is what is on right now. Whee! So I'm gonna give that about 5 minutes, and we'll be back. Okay, I don't know that that is made sticky via UV resin, because I don't think it hardened, like, at all. But it doesn't say to do that. I made a weird assumption, so we're gonna continue just a little bit here. There is like a little piece of tape that I started when I wasn't wearing gloves here. And maybe I should have completed when I wasn't wearing gloves. Great. Okay. And I do have some stuff on standby just in case this is more UV resin than is needed, but I'm not sure. Leave that face up to cure, hopefully. Unstick. These are not the gloves. It is not the way. Okay. So, doing some pouring. Did I warm the bottle up? No. I'm gonna let that stop me? Also no. We're gonna warm the bottle up a little bit while we also try to distribute this. Whoop! Okay. See? And that's why protective gear is important! Yeehaw! Try to get that back into place. I ruined my whole thing and dropped it. Hands. If only hands weren't so difficult. Again, seriously, don't touch this stuff without gloves. Just don't do it. I don't think we will have extra UV resin. I'm gonna stop there. I am once again going to attempt to spread this out. Because what I want to do is just to create a little layer that I'm going to stick my stuff into. And I have broken out the not provided tools. Could be doing this with the tweezers, I suppose, but I feel like my little plastic paddle is more effective. And I have chosen to do this without a breathing apparatus, and I can firmly say, yeah, that's what UV resin smells like. Not that I expected it to not, but yeah. Those fumes are there, for sure. Now we use the tweezers. Oh, nope. We do not get hair in the project, hopefully. Because I want my fish to be kind of floating above the rocks. And when it was, like, when I was doing like it told you to do and putting the base down in the rocks, it just kind of looked like he was sitting on the rocks, and that made me sad. So I might push the plant down a little, which I guess that's a good thing that that rock base is still a little malleable. Just so it's not sticking all the way out. Sorry, I've gone off screen, but I don't think this is very visible anyway. I'm just trying to make sure that I got the angle I want. There it is. I can't tip it over and show it to you just yet. We gotta go through another UV cycle to set that, and then go through and fill the bowl. As soon as I'm actually, no, I'm not done. I'm not done prodding. Good Lord, I can't believe they're selling this for kids. Okay, I've got that first layer of resin firmed up. Yeah. So that our stuff isn't gonna move around too much. Yeah, I think that the rocks are sticky from not UV resin. I guess that would explain why they're not in a dark bag. So I don't know, I guess I just have to like throw those out, wait for them to dry out. I don't know. I have put the little bottle of UV resin into a cup of warm water. Try to get it to run a little flowier. Whoops. Alright, well, it's already splurting out at me, so baby, we got it. Really, if we wanted to do this like very carefully, we could just like do it in layers. But it says go for it. I'm going for it. Alright, and I have... My plant is poking out just a little bit because I chose to put it sort of more above the gravel, but, you know, the fish is submerged, and I've put that right up to the edge of the bowl, and I do seem to have leftover, so I'm gonna see what I can squeeze out over here. Alright, it seems like that's it. That's what we're getting out of this. It does say to go ahead and cure what's left over. I'm gonna leave the bottle open and so that anything that is like sticking inside there might have a chance of curing. I'm going to try to, in good faith, pop these bubbles with the tweezers and see how that goes, but yeah, nope, that's... Okay, that's not... it's not going particularly well for me. There are like a lot of methods to popping resin bubbles. I have this little pokey tool right here, silicone pokey tool that tends to be more successful than most methods I've used. I do also have a heat gun. I could try to heat gun these bubbles away. I am a little concerned about melting the plastics, the other plastics anyway. So really, what I'm doing is just scooching these bubbles up the side here. Trying to get them to pop that way. I mean, the good thing about an aquarium, at least, is there would be a few bubbles in the water, probably. I mean, more so if you actually, you know, had a filter, an aerator, in a proper tank. Do not keep your betas in in little bowls. They actually need 10 gallons of space, and do actually need aerated water like other fish do. They do not actually like being kept in the tiny vases amongst the roots of some random plant, like they always seem to sell, or used to seem to sell at Valentine's Day, or even Mother's Day? Mother's Day more often than Valentine's Day, I think. And then actually, over here, in my excess resin, I am going to add some colorant. Just a drop or two of alcohol ink. And, yeah, my video camera's gonna die, folks. So I'll have to come back to you with the results of all of this. Alright. Okay, so my project is cured. And something has happened which I was worried could happen, and it's user error that it happened, but I can't imagine that like casual crafters are well, not even necessarily casual, just like casual enjoyers of toys are achieving a better result than me. So this is my cute little fishy tank, my little... What has happened here is that giant bubbles have formed around the plant that were not there when I began the curing process, but like formed during the curing process, and it's not that surprising because of the nature of the plant shape and how much of it there was for air, like how much of it for air to get through. And like the only thing I can think, like I poured the resin over it as I was pouring, which should have helped, but like maybe it could have been dunked in the resin first and then like set upright, but that wasn't part of the process the way they named it. I did my own thing. I didn't follow exactly the rules. I do wish I had taken out a lot more of the rocks, because that fish is just it pushed so far up there. But I did want it to be swimming and floating and not touching the freaking rocks like it was when I did what it told me to do, because there's just not that much space. And you can see the basin there, but like not that much. Not really. It is still pretty cute. I didn't get it exactly how I wanted, and I don't know when the rocks climbed up like that. I was trying so hard not to have that happen, and that happened. And I almost wish the rocks hadn't been sticky, because that just made placing them so much more difficult. If it had literally just been gravelly, and I could put it in the bottom with like a light little layer of resin, cure that, then put my stuff in, and then cure the quote-unquote water, that would have been better. Still cute, still gonna keep it around. It's forever. Plastic is forever. So my dolls can have a messed up little fishy tank. And I personally would/want to try more of these. However, I cannot recommend this product as a fucking toy. And yeah, I get like, sometimes I curse. I cannot. I have good ventilation in my home. I also have a respirator. Because I'm gonna tell you, they have not done anything that this is like less fumey. This is just UV resin packaged as a toy and labeled as for as young as 8 with with parental supervision recommended. I guess they can't say required, but adult supervision very much required. These kids are gonna get up in there pouring that, so even if they have the gloves on, they're gonna be like looking at it like this, and your face is that close to toxic fumes. Am I part of the problem because I think I might buy another one? Yeah, really I am, because they don't know who the product is going to, they just know that it's being bought. But like, I'm an experienced crafter who at least understands if I choose to use unsafe materials, or at least, like, I can make that decision, and in my own private home, like, that's my right or whatever. I sort of regret that I talked during the video instead of just putting on my respirator, because like, yeah, I have good ventilation, but you can just, no parents with like intense reactions to smells are gonna be able to have this toy in their home until after it's cured. And I get that like, probably most general households, they're setting this outside to cure, but that's not where the most of the fumes is coming from, because it smells as soon as you pour it out of the bottle. And it is toxic. It is not gonna kill you right away, but it is something that can contribute to cancer, cancer factors within the body. It is something that too much of will certainly cause damage to your body. It just seems wild that this is like a kid's toy. I cannot agree with that. These should be packaged less like a toy and more as a craft activity, which requires the respect of actually learning what you're doing and taking the precautions. And maybe I am being like a little overreactionary, but it's true. My first resin kit didn't tell me that, oh, well, this stuff gives off toxic fumes and you should really wear a respirator. I got some little, and this was like a jewelry kit, not marketed at kids. It was like an adult kit. But the producers of resin do not, or of like resin crafting kits, do not seem to want to tell you that really you should be overly cautious, because it is not particularly safe. But there are safe ways to use it, and at the end of the day, it's your body and your choice for what you do. But I think that it is the warnings. Well, you know, they say, you know, don't get it on your skin, be in a well-ventilated area. I don't think it really gets across the idea that, like, this is not, it shouldn't really, I don't know, it blows my mind. It doesn't seem like it's treated with enough precaution. That said, I'm going to, since I did show you that I was pouring some of the excess resin, I did color the excess resin. And let's just demold this real quick. And this is a mold by Kawaii Tomodachi. The hair stuck to that because there just always isn't there? And I managed to get this like almost bubble free. I'm still learning with this particular mold exactly how to treat it with respect so that I can not get quite so many bubbles, but this is already better than my first attempt, so. And progressively smaller bats. I only had enough for one of this size. And then, my favorite size, little super tiny. I just have to clean those up a little bit, because the nature of like tinier molds, you do get some overspill and stuff, so I do have to like pull some excess off the sides and whatnot. But the resin, at least packaged in these, is not, I don't think it's lower quality than anything you would typically buy or be recommended by crafters at craft stores. In fact, there's probably worse resin at craft stores, almost certainly. But so the resin itself is works and all of that. Like, this is not a thing that doesn't work. It works. I just feel that it is odd for it to be marketed as a toy. But I'm gonna leave it at that. Like, you get to make your own decisions for you and your family. Keep your pets out of the room if you're doing this stuff. consider, just take some, just consider those facts. I just want to put that out there in my video because I don't want it to look like I endorse just like, this is fine. Because it's there are more precautions you can take that will keep you safer than what they recommend, and also knowing about resin will help you achieve the craft better than just their instructions. Although obviously I didn't follow their instructions and I got a less than ideal result, but I got closer to what I wanted. It's just like with any arts crafty thing, sometimes you have to experiment, but I only have one kit, so I can't do this again, and there's no way to undo it. This is forever. This is plastic forever. It's stuck. I would buy another kit to do it differently to try to get a better result. Absolutely. And also because some of the other projects look fun. It absolutely looks fun. I do not think it's for kids. I think it's absolutely fine as like a teen and adult craft project, but 8 years old, no, I don't think so. Not in my opinion. Anyway, with all of that rambled on, if you liked today's video, you can leave me, you can hit the little like button. How about that? Questions about resin, type those into your search bar. There are so many videos on YouTube. Some of them are mine, only a couple of them, but I don't have that many resin videos on my channel, largely because it's been an exploratory journey and I am not there. I am still a novice resiner, but there are plenty of resources. Don't trust anything that says, oh, no smell, because first of all, it will have a smell, and second of all, even if it doesn't have that smell, that does not mean the fumes are not there. There are resins that say non-toxic. Don't trust that. Just don't. It may be in some way true. I'm not saying that it is a false claim, because that would be wild. But I do think it's better to go ahead and treat this stuff with respect. Go ahead and treat it as, because it is chemicals. It is a chemical process that makes plastic. So to ever say that could be completely safe or completely non-toxic feels wrong. So treat it with respect, and a healthy dose of what do they really mean when they say non-toxic? Like, we can't prove this causes cancer? Because you know, there's a lot of that around there, and most of the general health and safety recommendations regarding resin are just protect yourself. I know I went on the same rant like 5 times, but I do actually believe it. Like you should be informed. Anyway, with all of that said, I will see you treasures next time.